President Trump declared his candidacy for the presidency at a news conference at Trump Tower. There he goes. Tony Sayegh, Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs at the U.S. Treasury, is with me now. Tony, be honest. You never, ever thought 2 years ago. No, you didn't.
I did,
sir.
No,
you did.
I'll take this question on.
Wait. Let me finish.
Yeah.
2 years ago today, you did not think that you were looking at the future President of the United States.
I think 2 years ago today, most analysts, myself perhaps included, were not as aware how deeply, profoundly most of the American people felt disconnected from both political parties and the entire established order. Sure. And when you had a candidate like Donald Trump, who certainly was unique and dynamic and outside of the box, it took some people a while to get accustomed to that thought. But once you realize that he was tapping into this sentiment, Stuart, where for 8 years you heard from the former administration that things were getting better economically, the stock market was up, but guess what? The wealthier were getting more wealthy, but the average American wasn't feeling any improvement in their economic conditions. Wages were going down, people were working multiple jobs, and that's why when Donald Trump runs on that kind of strong populist economic message, the majority of the American people responded because they know the American system has to work better for all Americans.
But he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't got it done yet. Look, I applaud the man. He's cut red tape. He's trying to reverse Obamacare. He's pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord. I'll give him all of that. But he hasn't yet gotten America's middle class into prosperity land. He's trying. I know he is, but not there yet.
Well, we're in month 6, and let's paint the picture. Consumer confidence has never been higher in 16 years. Small business confidence is up the highest, I believe, in a decade. Manufacturing and home builder sectors, highest positive outlook on the economy in over a decade. People understand the policy he is working on, tax reform, regulatory relief, restructuring unfair trade agreements, are all going to lead to the type of economic growth we need for everybody to succeed.
But only if you can unite the Republican Party behind that message and get the legislation passed. And frankly, Tony, at this moment, I don't think the Republicans are that united.
Look, I understand, Stuart, when people look at what's happening in Washington, they see a lot of the same institutional bureaucratic impediments that has stopped progress in the past. I can tell you with confidence, I believe between the White House, our Department of Treasury with Secretary Mnuchin, our partners with the NEC, Gary Cohn, and Congress, both on the House and Republican sides, we are much closer to getting tax reform done than I think meets the eye. I think we're doing it correctly.
How do you know that?
Because I'm working on it with 100 of my colleagues in the Treasury every day. And you know,
wait a minute. Wait. You are at the Treasury.
Yes,
You're
sir.
at the Treasury building in Washington.
Yes, sir.
And every single day you work on tax reform.
The Secretary,
that's it?
Gary Cohn, well, we do a lot of things. The President are all focused on getting it done. And we're not going to litigate it, in the public, in the media.
Okay.
We're negotiating this. So when it does get introduced in Congress, Stuart, it could pass both houses and get signed by the President. That's the type of, I think, smart strategy.
Are you allowed to tell me whether or not the hunch that I have, the speculation that I'm hearing, is accurate? That all we're going to get, what we really want is what we're going to get, and that is a cut in corporate tax rates and a cut in individual tax rates. And that's it.
No, I will tell you the focus is certainly getting absolute tax reform. It hasn't been done in 30 years.
Tax reform is different from limited tax cuts.
And I'm telling you, we're looking much broader than limited tax cuts. You have the individual side. I would beg to differ, Stuart. I really would. And, we talk about tax reform, and that's one of the 3 pillars of restoring economic growth and creating jobs in this country. The other are regulatory relief. The Treasury just released our report on the President's executive order on the core principles of financial regulation this week, focused on making community banks and smaller banks more competitive again by removing the impediments created by Dodd-Frank that created every bank and financial institution equally. So you basically had smaller banks and these huge institutions under the same regulatory regime that was crushing lending to small businesses, which are job creators and middle-income Americans. We're doing it, Stuart. We're doing it.
I haven't got a tax cut yet.
It's been 6 months, but I'll tell you.
Exactly.
The third part I will tell you, though, is also trade, and you've seen a lot of progress there. I know Secretary Mnuchin is working with Secretary Ross on expanding our markets in China.
Here's another one for you.
So trade's not that interesting, huh?
No, it's not. It's not. Tax cuts are interesting.
We're working on them.
If you get a tax cut and it's passed in, say, late August, early September, is it backdated to January the 1st?
I think the plan is to have it be retroactive, yes.
So taxpayers get a whopping great big tax break before April 15th.
Well,
Their refund will be gigantic.
The American economy will become competitive again. You have 1.8% economic growth averaged over 8 years. That's not good for the economy. We're looking at sustained economic growth of 3% under the proposals we're pushing
You're
for.
talking fast to get the message in.
I'm a New Yorker, Barney. I'm a New Yorker. That's what's happening.
Tony, you're a good sport. That's a fact.
I appreciate
it being with us. Thank you.